Hey guys, it's Savannah here from Mint Ops. I'm here with my friend and marketing guru, Ben. He's the director of operations for our marketing division. Today, we are going to be talking about marketing and strong operations in your practice. So before we get started, I'm just going to go over our standard housekeeping rules. The webinar is being recorded. So after we are done, you will receive a copy of the finished recording. You can review the recording or you can share it with a colleague if you guys want. We have a Q&A section. It is in the chat. You guys can pop any questions throughout the webinar. Ben and I are happy to stop, answer anything that anybody has. Otherwise, we can answer them at the end if anybody has any further questions. If you're watching from a mobile device, you can swipe right, swipe left to go between the slides and the video feed. The recording will also be available on YouTube after the fact. And CE is available. If you guys are looking for CE credits, pop it in the chat. We just need your contact information, email, and then we can get that to you after the recording. So Ben is going to start. He's going to share a screen for us. I'm going to kind of go over what we're going to go over today, and then we'll jump right into it.
Okay, hello all. So this is Ben Poruani. So let's go start the webinar. So I'm really appreciate for all the attendees, and let's start with that. So our title today, and this is the big deal that me and Salvi are starting to talk about, this is that why dental marketing fails without a strong operations. Okay, so let's talk about why. First of all, why is marketing important for your business, for your dental clinic? In any stage that your dental clinic is in, marketing is very important for that. And there is a reason. Even that once, if you just start scratch your dental clinic, you need to start engagement with the people. You need to show your business to others. You have to start to promote your business. So on the data stage, you need to how to start and just show your business to others. Even if your business in there really you just wanted to grow your business is already established and you just wanted to grow this. Also in that stage of your practice, you need to have a marketing but different channel and different strategy. So always a strategy of marketing makes your business more familiar to the others. And that is a thing that I'm just decided to talk about this, that marketing changes with different stage of a practice. Every stage that any stage that you're practicing it, you need a marketing strategy. So some people are mentioning to us, okay, so my business is already stable, so I don't really need the marketing. No, you need a marketing even when your business is established, because at least if you do not want to grow your business, if you do not want to do anything and you just wanted to go your business as is, you need to at least keep your business always up to date. So that stage also your business needs a marketing. Another thing that we are decided to mention is that why marketing needs trained team members and efficient systems. So in that stage, my colleague Savannah, so she's really expert on this and she will start to talk about this. So Savannah, do you want to talk about this?
I'm going to jump into it a little further in because I'm going to get into this
Okay.
and show people a little bit more information, give them some things that they can either take pictures of or retain later in the webinar. And then we're going to talk about clinics losing patients. They don't even realize it. I see this all the time. Ben talks about different stages of practice. People forget that we're always going to have attrition in our industry, right? There's patients that move. There's patients that, decide to go to another clinic. There's always going to be a reason that we lose patients in our practice. So we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about how to align operations with clinic growth. It's one of those things that we forget about. We get busy with the day-to-day, we get bogged down, and then we forget. It's like, okay, we have to have these operations and these systems in place to really help sync those leads because you're paying all this money for marketing, and we're just going to kind of correlate this together for you guys so it makes sense. We want to make sure that you're getting your best money out of the spend. Marketing is something that I always find painful with my clinics, trying to get those really good strategies, really good plans. I'm lucky to have people like Ben and some of the other companies I've worked with that have really guided me on that. But it's one of those things that we just have to talk about and figure out some solutions and potential ways to keep the clinic going and to combat that attrition that's going to happen. On average, every clinic loses about 10% per year. And that's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
normal across the country. So yeah. So we'll pop into it. Ben's going to talk first. He's going to go into just some different things about marketing, kind of why it's important. I made Flamingo Ben. I thought he looked pretty handsome, very nice hair there. But he's going to talk about that. He's going to kind of get into the different types of marketing and what might be options for your practice and why.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Savannah. So that is the thing. As at the end of this webinar, we try to help you to understand that there is always a gap between the marketing and operation. And if your marketing doesn't align with the operation, you're gonna lose money a lot in the between. So that is the reason that me and Savannah, we both started to have this webinar because of the experience we have in different stages that we want to helping you and we want to give you some sort of information to realize this gap between these two section stages and section in your business. So the first one is that why marketing is important. As far as I told you, marketing is important in any sort of stages of the business you are in or your practice that you have. And it really doesn't matter. What is matter in that stage is the strategy behind the marketing. Always a strategy is very important in the marketing. So some people are just calling us and mentioning that, okay, so we start a marketing, but we don't get that much leads. So what exactly you are looking from marketing? What exactly you wanted to do, we wanted to achieve with your marketing? Or is your marketing that you think just start a Google ads or just start a meta advertisement, Instagram advertisement? So that is the thing. It should be have a strategy behind your marketing. In this slide, exactly I wanted to talk more about each of the platform and each of the channels that we have in marketing, which is lots of more channels we have, but as a general, I just divided to make it more clarify between each of them. First, let's go with the most familiar one in dental industry, which is the Google Ads. So Google Ads, in which it's really important that how to set up your Google Ads, what kind of leads is exactly you wanted to go with. So some people looking for just call, some of the practices looking for just fill out the application, some others looking for just online booking. Each of these different leads you are looking for should have a different Google Ads strategy. So either that some people are even just searching, okay, you know what? I just want my business and my website to be visible to the people around 2 kilometers radius, 2 kilometers between my clinic. Why you just want to go with the 2 kilometers? Why not more than 2 kilometers? Is there any specific reason that in your mind you wanted to go with? So in marketing, in the setup of any sort of this challenge, there is a why behind it, and you have to have a reason for that. So some people are just telling, okay, so I just want to be call to people call me. Okay, you wanted to call, but your geographical place that your clinic is in, so most of the people are employed. So they don't have a time to call you from 9 to 5, but they can easily go to the online booking and set up their appointments. So why you just want your people to calling? There should be a reason. In a Google Ads, it should have in any sort of marketing strategy. First, you have to check your geographical places. You have to see that people around you, who are they? Why, what they are looking for? What kind of a lifestyle they have? Are they most of the students? Most of them are employed. Most of them are seniors. So based on the geographical place living, you have to change your strategy. So Google Ads gives you lots of different variety of the leads, but which one of leads are exactly bring you or just knock the door of your practice? You have to exactly make sure that what you're looking for from Google Ads.
Well, and
Google Ads,
what kind of patients you want to attract, right? So the way I
yeah,
explain this to my clients is Google Ads is like paying rent on a house. As soon as you stop paying, you stop
exactly.
getting the patient flow, right? So for me, I always go, okay, am I trying to attract emergencies, for example? Do we want to run an
Mhm.
emergency campaign? Is it an area, like Ben says, with geographical? Is it an area where that works really well for my practice? Or is it a practice where, yes, Ben said, like you have an elderly population, well, do you actually market dentures? Do you market implants? Do you market things that work in those situations, right? And I think we have, oh, no question. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So as exactly someone mentioned that is Google Ads or any sort of ads that we call is a rental, and we have lots of things like a mortgage which we will be just talk about it later. The next one that is very important is Google Business Profile on the Google Maps. So nowadays, most of the people they are just instead of going to the Google and just looking for a dental clinic or something, some of them or most of them they just go to the Google Map and just search for okay Google or sorry dental clinic near me, dental clinic open near me. So something like that. So you always should have to have your Google Business Profile, and this Google Business Profile should be 100% optimized. In marketing, there is a word that we always say is NAP, name, address, phone number. These three should always same in all sort of online presence that you have. So it doesn't matter. It shouldn't have to be, for example, your name on your Google Business Profile, right? For example, a Smile Dental Clinic, and on your business, it just have a website by the doctor's name, and your social media, you have a page. It's a Smile Dental North somewhere. It's not gonna helping you even if you spend more than $10,000 monthly on your advertising, on your marketing. It's not going to work because first of all your name, address and phone number are not same everywhere. That is the thing you have to make sure, especially for Google Maps or Google Business Profile. You have to make sure that you write your name and your address, phone number, and also right now you can add your online booking. So I'm strongly suggesting to all dental clinics to have an online booking and add the online booking link on your Google Business Profile. Right now, especially because of the SEO, because of the Google and this kind of thing, you can publish posts on the Google Business Profile. So do this. Ask your SEO developer or ask your business, your marketing guy. Okay, you are publishing blogs on my website. Please publish it on my Google Business Profile too. I have some promotions. Let's add it on my Google Business Profile. So it's gonna helping you a lot. The third one,
I have
and
one comment there. If you guys
yes,
do not
please.
have online booking, get online booking. I swear to you.
Yeah.
I get at least, I still work in private practice 3 days a week, and I have quite a few consulting clients I work with. Every time we put in online booking, you guys, I promise you'll get 6 or 8 new patients a week. People absolutely love it. People like me love it because I'm too busy to make phone calls during the day,
Mm.
and I will book all my appointments in the evening, and I will choose providers where I can go online and book. So if you guys haven't done that, let us know. We can help you, guide you, but please, please do it. I promise it's the best advice I can give you today.
Some people make mistakes between online booking and request of booking on the website. So in many websites, I've seen that. So they have a page like contact us or just request an appointment or something like that. And there is just a form for email, phone, something, and you just email them. No, I'm talking about online booking, which is connected to your software that they can exactly take the appointment and it's already scheduled, everything make sure. So We are talking about online booking, which is very important for your business. The third one, which is the title that I really love, and I have lots of things to talk about this, is SEO, search engine optimization. The most important marketing strategy for 90% of dental clinics is SEO. And right now, I'm so appreciated because of the social media, YouTube, and these kind of things. So people are getting familiar with what is SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. What does it do? It's gonna bring the ranking of your website to the higher level. There is most of the most of the AIs right now comes to the market for the SEO. Some people or some agencies or some company just said that okay, we guarantee your website will be top ranking in the first top ranking in 24 hours or so. Probably some of them can do, but most of them cannot because SEO is a process. SEO is not just one button and your website going to be top ranking. Not at all. SEO is has competitors. SEO, you have to work on it for a long time to make it visible your website into the top ranking. So SEO is good and is best strategy for the clinics who are already established, who are already stable, and they are already have some patient and they wanted to stay in the industry. They wanted to stay for a long time in that specific area. And it's not something that you just say, okay, I want you to start my SEO, start to paying you and have a good day. No, your SEO developer have to start from the first search area. What are the keywords people usually search in that area and looking for dental clinic or hygiene clinics or something? Second of all, they have to search the competitors. What are the keywords attached to the competitors? Third of all, it has to make sure your website is fully optimized and compatible with any sort of screen sizes. Has to make sure your content on the website is matched with the keyword that they wanted to write. So SEO is a process. It's not a one time doing something. You have to have some patience, at least 6 to 8 months, because it takes time to just do everything in the back end and publish blogs, publish articles, make sure keywords are on the trend, make sure keywords are exactly right on same everywhere. So they have to do lots of things and you have to do many things to bring your website to the top ranking. This is what me and Savannah we mentioned about the renting and mortgage. SEO is the mortgage. Once you start it and you go through this, it takes time, but then this ranking is yours. I don't want to say that, so that is the thing. So on any sort of advertisement, especially Google Ads, once you stop payment, your website will be hide and in unvisible. But SEO, even that after a year or couple years, once you stop payment and you stop to do any sort of anything for your website, your SEO, it doesn't drop on the same day. It takes time to drop it off. It really takes time. So that is the thing. SEO, do this. Please doing your SEO. SEO is always brings you as a consistent sort of patient for a long time. It's not a one-time patient. It's a consistency of your business. Next one is the infrastructure of your business. Everything you can do for your online visibility. But if you do not have website, nothing gonna work. Some people are saying that, okay, so I start Google Ads and connect it to my Google business profile. Yeah, it's great. That's awesome. But one day, if you start your Google Ads, what's gonna happen? Or if you anything happen with your Google business profile, then how much you spend lots of things on the Google Ads. But what is a benefit?
What's the most looked page at on a website for a dental office? The most viewed across the board.
What do you mean by the most view?
Wait, what do people click on the most when they look at a dental website? What's the number one page?
Number one page, it's really depend, but for sure is contact us.
Yeah, and then the second one is meet the team, guys. And
Meet
I
the
know
team
this
page.
because everybody wants to know who they'll be seeing. They like that
Exactly.
personalization. They like seeing the doctor's information, right? They like, and that converts into leads. And I know this because I listen to the calls in my practices every once in a while, and I like to hear, and they go, oh, yeah, no, I know that Dr. Patel's been working for 10 years, so I want to see him. Or I know so and so likes hockey, so I want to see them. And they actually build their preferences based on that team page. It gives a personal connection to the patient in the practice. If you guys don't have that, one of the things I've even seen on the recruitment side of our operations is that I have people not apply to offices that don't have websites. They're like, no, I'm not interested. I want to know about the practice. They want to know. So there's all these things like Google reviews, like Ben said, Google My Business, Google Ads. There's all the things you can do. But if you don't have a personal connection and all this doesn't link together, it doesn't work. And it works on so many levels. And with staff shortages across the country, you want to look good, right? You want your practice to look good. You want it to stand out. You want it to be different. You don't want it to be blue like every other dental website in Canada, right? You want it to be orange. You want it to be purple. You want to look different so that those patients that are looking for your type of practice are attracted to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to
Right to
mention
social
about
media because it's the exact same thing, right?
exactly that's a point I wanted to add on. So some of the clients mentioning that, okay, you know what, Ben, I added the icon of the Instagram and Facebook on my website. It's not gonna help me. How is that helping you? Exactly as what Savannah mentioned, that on the Meet the Team, at the end, you can just add your Instagram pictures and videos and reels. So use it as the showing the atmosphere of your clinic. So we have lots of clinics that they are very good on the social media and they connect their social media to the Meet the Team page and they are working well because they show the atmosphere. They show that what is the welcoming side of our clinic once you just walk into our clinic. So they love to see that. They want patients love to see that once they're just coming to your clinic, who is the first person they meet? What is the welcoming? What is the atmosphere of this? Who are the doctors? Right now this is the social media uh, power that connect your website to this one. So when I exactly mentioned the right thing, so they got, okay, so let's see who's working there. Is there any other language that doctor there, or any other language of the assistant, or even that how many years that they are working? So these sort of these things, so people love to see Meet the Team. They love to see this page, and we usually suggesting you to add your social media pictures and reels and this one connected directly to your Meet the Team page because people love to see that one. They really love to see. It's very important. And same that on 2024 or 5, I think Google just talk about announce the 11.4, which is that people wanted to just before they choose your business, they wanted to just 7 hours of the interaction between your brand. So they wanted to see your picture, your video, and reels for approximately 7 hours, and then 11 touch point, which is that for 11 times they wanted to engage with you, like I don't know, check your Google search or YouTube video, Instagram pages. So 11 touch points in 4 different platforms, which is that you can choose your 4 different platforms, which is the website, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Google Business Profile. It's 5. So pick 4 of them. This is the rule of choosing a person or a patient to choose your clinic. So 7-11-4. That is a very important rules by Google. So it's Savannah is exactly mentioned a really good point. Atmosphere of your clinic. Who's working in the clinic? and who is the first person to meet you once you just walk into the clinic. So it's all visible on the meet the team. That's very important. And another thing, which is I don't really think needs us to talk about this because people already know about the power of it. It's the reviews. Reviews on the Google Business Profile. It's one of the most important one. So some people, even if you get a bad review, reply them. Reply them on the same day. Reply them and mentioning them. Even thank you so much for your review. So if these things happen, so let us know how we can help you. It's showing that you care of your patient. You care about your patient. You care about the community there. You care about the people who are just one time come to your clinic and visiting you. Reply all your Google reviews.
Just going
That's
to make
very
one
important.
comment on that. Check with your
Please.
college and association, because actually in some provinces you're not supposed to reply. You have to be really careful. I know in Alberta we have really sticky rules on that kind of stuff, and you're actually not supposed to reply because you're confirming they're a patient of their office, which breaks confidentiality. So just check with your guys' association. Make sure you know all the rules on that before you go ahead and make decisions.
Yep.
If you can and you're comfortable, please do. I agree with Ben. It's very important. Again, it's that personal connection from the clinic to the patient. But just watch the rules of the associations and the colleges because they are different across the country. And we just want to make sure we're always following those as well, right?
Yeah. No, thank you so much for mentioning. Yeah, that is also very important thing. So yeah, that is a thing. So the last one is a traditional marketing, which is we call it traditional, but again, based on the geographical place that your clinic is in, it's very important to see that most of the people are a flyer lover. Still, they are in the flyer generation than Gen Z, and they love to just see the boss benches marketing than just go to the Instagram and check it out. So this kind of traditional marketing is very based on your geographical places. So even if you have a rural area of the dental clinic and this kind of thing, highly suggested you to go with the traditional marketing because most of these things are more important. But again, it's not meaning that choosing one of these channel are enough or just choose one of them. No, these are very important. These are very important to just choose the right one based on the strategy. For example, if you are choosing SEO, make sure your keywords are same as the keywords you are adding on your Google Ads. So make sure about all of these things together. Okay, so I'm go to the next one. Marketing brings patient, yeah, but operation decide if they stay. So Savannah is the person who has billion years of experience in this thing. So I just
Wow, you just made me really old there.
no, it's not old. It's experience. That's very important.
Okay, awesome. So okay, when it comes to marketing, guys, I've had this fight for years. I'm like, hey, what do? I do a combination of everything in my practices. I feel like it's, like Ben said, knowing your audience, your geographical area is important, but I think doing a mix of things depending on the age of your practice and the strategy is important. But one of the things that gets missed all the time is Ben can bring me as many patients as I want. I know he knows what he's doing, right? I know he knows how to get those patients in. I know that if we invest the right amount of money, we have a great strategy, we work with our marketing team, we can get all those leads to the practice. But if our team isn't trained to handle those incoming leads, you're just throwing your money out the window, guys, honestly. So a couple of the things I really recommend: invest in your team. I say this all the time. Anybody who's ever met me, comes to lectures and things I talk about, works with me. These are things I say all the time. You guys need to train your teams. Please, please, please. Most offices don't provide team members with job descriptions. I'm a huge policy documentation person because the clearer you can make things for people, the happier they are. Honestly, they look for direction. We're dental people. We crave direction. We're C types. We're crazy OCD. We need these things, right? Again, if you guys don't have job descriptions, send a message in the chat. I will send them to you, okay? They're templates, but you can play with them and make them work. But people need these things. With that, one of the things I find is very beneficial to practice is have scripting available. People don't know what they don't know. We don't know how we want to talk to those patients. We don't know what we should be saying. Every practice, this is going to be slightly different too. Like Ben said, knowing your demographic, knowing who you're speaking to is very important. So if you can get that information, give people a baseline because they feel good. If you go to McDonald's, you know what you're going to expect every time you go to McDonald's. That's why it's popular. It's not because it's good. We know that. There's nothing at McDonald's and I'm like, oh man, that is an award-winning meal. People do not go there for an award-winning meal. They go because they go for the expectation. They know if I get a double cheeseburger, it is going to be the same if you go to McDonald's in Canada or you go to McDonald's in India. It's going to be the same double cheeseburger. No one got my joke. They don't have cheeseburgers in India because they don't eat beef. But I'm just saying, anywhere in the world, you know what to expect. So patients crave that. People crave that. They like to know the expectations. So if the team is trained the same way and we're talking to patients the same, every time a new patient calls, it's that exact same experience, it's going to keep those patients in your practice. That's what we look for as human beings. Again, I am a huge believer in meetings, discussion, going over challenges. The marketing team can bring those leads, but if we don't know the barriers and why patients aren't booking, we can't solve them, right? So let's say I tell Ben, I want more sleep apnea patients in my practice. And let's say we get 20 leads that month for sleep apnea patients. I'm happy, but if they're not converting and actually coming into the practice, I have to figure out the root of the problem. So discussing that with your team all the time, going over why aren't patients booking? What is the reason? Is it finances? Is it times? Is the practice not open the hours that patients need? You can troubleshoot. And the only way you can troubleshoot is by knowing the information. So talking with your team, getting that information from the people who are dealing with those patients all the time is one of the best things you can do for your practice. I always say to create and implement strong policies and new patient protocols. Because again, Ben can bring these leads and I know this and I get them and it's awesome. But if we don't have a good protocol for those patients, we lose them at that initial phone call, right? We can't rush through things, right? It's important to spend time with them, get to know them a little bit, listen to them, right? It's a big thing. So having those protocols in place, have them documented. Again, I can't stress documentation more than I do because people need it written. You can tell me something I might not remember 10 minutes later. I'm getting old, as Ben said. So for me, at the end of the day, having that process that people can refer to is amazing. And if you're a bigger practice, you're going to have multiple people doing the same things in your office, right? And having something they can refer to is just I can't promise you more than I can right now that it's going to be beneficial for this. The other thing, track your leads, track your referral services. It's really important to know where your referrals are coming from because again, there's all those sources Ben just went over with you guys. There's so many things that you can go over, right? We can get patients from Google, we can get patients from reviews, we can get patients from bus benches, we can get patients from radio ads, podcasts, whatever it is that we're putting our marketing dollars into. But if we don't know where those leads are coming from, there's no point in spending money on marketing, right? Because we can be spending too much money in the wrong area and one practice is going to be completely different from another practice. So we need to know, okay, what's actually working for my clinic? What is beneficial? Should we put more money into one area than the other? So if we can do that, we can track it, then it gives our marketing team information when we're collaborating and going over that strategy to be able to improve the strategy. I don't know, obviously, I don't know how Ben does it all the time, but, I have a spreadsheet for my team and I have them fill out the spreadsheet for every new patient that books. Where did they find us? How did they find us? And what did they book for? So I want to know if it's an emergency or a full new patient exam, if it's just hygiene only, right? If we're getting an influx of hygiene only patients, it's like, okay, is our new patient strategy working over the phone? Why are they not converting for exams? And then I can backtrack and figure out what that initial barrier is for those patients. And that's how we can work together with our marketing team to create a better solution and be able to optimize what we're doing and utilize that money a little bit more. Ben, can you pop my screen back on?
He's a bit frozen. We're troubleshooting it. So
okay, no worries. I'm not frozen. That's why I didn't know what was going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so those are the things that I look for in the practices. I also like to review marketing with the marketing team monthly. So all of the teams I work with different ones in my practices. Some of them we've been with a long time. Sometimes some of them are new. Sometimes when I'm working with Ben, it's a little bit different. So what I do is I try to have a review every month with the marketing team, with my own team when I'm doing administrative meetings, because then I know exactly what's going on and what we're spending our money on. And that's really, really helpful for me, because that way I can keep track. I know exactly what we're doing and I know what we're spending our money. And I think as a practice owner, as a manager, you want to know all those things because it makes a big difference. And then we can know how to optimize it more and get the best kind of bang for your buck. I know it sounds kind of terrible when I say it, but no one wants to be spending money on things that aren't working, right? So I'm just going to share my screen, guys, since apparently our internet went down at the office. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to talk about lead conversion. One of the things that I think gets missed in a lot of practices is answering the phone. Okay. I know it sounds funny and I know it sounds weird, but I find that practices miss that whole section of answering the phone properly. So it needs to be consistent with whatever team member is answering the phone. So whether it's a hygienist that runs up and is like, hey, I'm helping out, whether it is your admin team, but it should be consistent all the time, and we should have the same protocol. So whatever works for your practice is absolutely fine, but it's going to be different for everybody. So for example, some practices will thank you for calling. Some practices will say the name of the practice. I think it's very important to say your name of the practice, how are you? And I always tell people to answer the phone with a smile. I think it's important. It makes patients feel really good. It makes them feel excellent about everything. It makes them feel happy. So anytime we can do that, it's a big benefit. I always say the first thing you should do is listen to the patient's concern. When I listen to phone calls for my practices, I see this getting missed often, guys. We don't listen. We're busy. There's a patient in front of you. We're kind of trying to get them off the phone. I see this as a missed opportunity a lot of times for people. It's one of the things patients want to be heard. They're calling for a purpose. A lot of times, if they're in pain, we need to be using empathy. We need to understand why they're calling us, what they're calling us for. I feel like that's very important and very converting at the beginning, is just listening to them, understanding their needs, understanding how we can help them. So listening to them is number one. I always ask, how are you? How can we help you? Right? And that's the first thing they want. They're going to understand that we can relate to them. We are here to help them. That is the whole purpose in dentistry, right? I always tell everybody, take your time, don't rush. Give patients the information about your clinic. What sets you apart from other offices? One of my clinics, it's located in South Calgary. We have 14 dental clinics, guys, 14 within 2 kilometers of us. That's a lot of opportunity for people to choose another office. As much as I don't want somebody to choose another office, they have that opportunity. So if we don't do it right at the very beginning, the problem that we run into is that the patients are just going to go somewhere else. So take your time. If you can't answer a call, there are different strategies that you guys can implement in your practice, whether it's getting the patient's information right away and calling them back, whether it is getting that information and sending them an email right away while you're on the phone with somebody else, helping somebody else, whether it's, passing that phone call on to another team member. There's lots of options, but getting that information and answering those calls is really important, because if we miss them and the patient goes to voicemail, they're calling that next clinic within that 2 kilometers of us, right? So that's very important. Reviewing fundamentals with patients. We always forget. We just assume because we work there, we go there every day, we know everything. So making sure that the patient knows where the clinic is, it's important. Giving them directions, letting them know what to expect at their first visit. Again, we're creatures of habit. We like to know the same things. We like to know exactly what's going on. So for us, it's really important that we go over those fundamentals, give them those things that they need to make it easy for them, because there's nothing more stressful when you're going to an appointment and you're late and you're trying to find it and you don't know that you have to go up the stairs, or you don't know it's down the hall, or you don't know what to do or what to expect. and patients just don't know. They don't know that they're supposed to bring their insurance card. They don't know that, we check their insurance ahead of time. Whatever your policies are, they need to be conveyed to that patient. The other trick I tell everybody is go over the confirmation policy. Be like, I'm so happy that you booked with us today. If anything changes, make sure you let us know 2 business days in advance. And that way we can assure that we can get you in at another time that works for you, right? Give them those expectations at the very beginning. They're going to be very happy with the clinic. They're going to be very happy with you. And it's going to be very important to be able to set those expectations at the beginning, because then they know exactly where you are and you guys are always on the same page with your patients. I always say give patients the opportunity to ask questions. Sometimes they just want to know certain things. They want to know what's going on. They want to know, what to expect financially. Sometimes they want to know what to expect in the provider. If you're a specialty practice, you do a lot of sleep apnea, you do a lot of sedation. Those things really change the ballgame for people. So they might have a lot more questions than, your average patient is just calling to book a cleaning who's been to the practice before. So give them that opportunity. Always say, is there anything else I can help you with? Do you have any further questions for me? Whatever you're comfortable saying, but giving them that option and that opportunity to find out all the information they need. And then I always thank a patient for their time and for choosing us. It goes so far with people, honestly, guys. I can't say it more. Saying thank you, appreciating your patience. It's just one of those regular things, right? So I feel like that's really kind of my tips when it comes down to leads and finding those leads. So then I'm going to talk about things that clinics miss. So there's a lot of them. As I said, phone calls being answered. That's one of the things. Again, Ben can bring all the leads to the practice, but if we're not answering the phone calls, it's a thing. If we miss it, we probably are missing the patient. They're usually calling the next appointment.
Just one thing I wanted to mention, some between the things. So, so especially that once any sort of marketing you are started, make sure just have a small piece of pen and paper on the side of each of your receptions. Right, okay, so I get this call, I get this call, so hi, thank you, and how do you find us? It's like a simple question and just simple address, so simple answer, but it's gonna help even your marketing, it's gonna help them then. So which of these channels are just working well for them? So that is the thing I just wanted to a small mention between your
No, that's great. And guys, you know what? Patients are hesitant to tell you sometimes. I don't know why. I always find it really weird that they're hesitant to tell you that. So one other thing you can do is put it on your new patient forms, right? Put it on your new patient forms, because you're asking them twice. You're getting that kind of message through their heads, and you get that information, right? So if you forget to capture it on the first call, it's okay, but have it on your new patient forms as well. I always recommend that. Check it when they come into the office. You can ask them again the third time when they're live in person. So it just depends, what your style is and what your strategy is and what's going to work best for your practice and your patients. But again, I agree with Ben. It's really important to make sure that we get that information. So as much as we can. So any way that you guys can do it that works for you is fantastic. So yeah, another thing that I always mention to people, patients in the office always come first, but when a call comes in, what do? What's your strategy, right? I've seen this done different ways in different practices. One of the things is that, some people are okay with their hygienist answering the phone. Some offices are okay with putting someone on hold. Some offices are okay with getting their information. Some offices are okay with, leaving it to voicemail. It depends what you want. I don't recommend leaving it to voicemail, guys, because again, if they don't hear human voice, they don't have that contact, you miss them. Right? With AI coming out, there's definitely another option as well, right? You can have AI answer your phones for you and just capture that information, right? Because again, I think if there's no way to capture it, we lose it. And that's tough on patients and that's tough on people, right? So we don't want them calling the next office. We want to capture their information and get back to them promptly. So if you are busy, you get their information, just make sure you have that time, make sure that's a priority to call them back right away, right? Especially if patients in pain, they're going to go somewhere else. They're not going to wait 2 hours for you to call them back while you're having lunch, right?
I just wanted to mention a small things in between.
Yeah.
So, some of the dental clinics, they just said that, okay, so I want a Google advertisement or any sort of advertisement from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, sure, no worries, it's called good, but your opening hours is from 9 to 5. So, what about that 5 to 8? So, what you gonna do? Okay, that's fine. So, they can just put a voicemail. No, most of them, they are not just putting just the voicemail. So yes, you can capture the information, that's a perfect thing, but at least have something to reply, something to answering them, because as exactly as what Savannah mentioned, that they just go to the next dental clinic. Easy.
Yeah, you're
Make
better off
sure
to have
that,
online booking at that point, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah, because
exactly.
they can go on and book. So,
Yeah,
and I agree with Ben, because again, it's one of those things where you're just throwing money out the window at that point. And we
exactly.
don't want anybody doing that. That's mine and Ben's purpose today. We don't want anybody wasting money, time, not having the right strategy, not having the right tools to make it successful, right? So,
So
yeah.
that is the reason. So make sure that any sort of update that you have in your clinic, make sure update your marketing agency and marketing guide. Okay, so we have this kind of updates. So please align this with any sort of marketing channels that we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the team should be prepped, prepared, be able to multitask. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes, you have certain patients that are demanding. I understand it all. I promise you, I deal with it every day. But just having those things is important, right? Because if you have them all ready, if you have a plan in place, it makes it easier. Is it always going to be perfect? Absolutely not. That's not the way life works, right? But again, the more prepared you are, the more strategy you have, the more tools that your team has in their tool belt, the better off they're going to be. I always say check in with your team regularly, check in with your marketing team regularly. How are things going? Are the call volumes up? Are things working, right? Because again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. If we can get all the calls we want, but if we can't convert them into patients, is it really working, right? So we have to give our team all those tools in their tool belt to make it successful. What are solutions if we can't answer our calls? What are solutions for outbound calls? I have a solution. We have a remote admin team. So we have a remote admin division, which is amazing. And if you guys can't keep up with your outbound calls, make sure you're doing your inbound calls, right? You can outsource outbound calls for recalls, for AR. There's many things you can do, but you can't outsource inbound calls. You need your team answering them. So if you guys have a reception space shortage, I see these in clinics. We don't build enough space physically and desks for all the team we need. We don't think we're going to expand as fast. This is a solution for you guys. So there's many different tacks that you can take, but that's just one of the things that pops in my head right away. It's like, okay, you can do that, but you can't outsource inbound calls really besides AI. And it works in some practices, some demographics, like Ben says, you need to know your audience. So it isn't an option for certain offices. It's not an option for other offices. So again, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can strategize this. And if anybody has any specific questions, you can pop them in the chat, or you guys can always reach out to me after, and I'm happy to give you some ideas on what options are available, but just make sure you're not missing those inbound calls. I always say, give your team some positive affirmation, some constructive criticism, listen to your calls. Call recording is huge. I listen to calls, not all of them, but I pick random ones every once in a while, because I want to know, okay, what's working, what's not working. It's not necessarily criticizing the team or figuring out something to, go after them for. It's more about, okay, how can we improve? And it's also feedback for the marketing company or the marketing team or whoever you're working with in marketing, because at the end of the day, you can give them information as well. It's like, okay, this is working or this is not working, or we can manage this or we could do that. So I think, keeping some positive feedback for your team. You get more new patients one month, say, hey guys, great. This is awesome. We got more leads, more conversions, right? So I think keeping that feedback, positive, negative, however you guys want to do it, keep it in a positive light always. But giving them that feedback is important because it keeps everybody motivated. It keeps us moving in the right direction. It keeps us doing the right things. So anything we can do on that positivity side is very important. So in that being said, I'm going to talk about the ongoing things that we can do to keep the momentum going in your practice. So team reviews, I do them semi-yearly. I feel like it's a benefit to your team. Just going over what we can conduct, what we can ask, how that relates to new patients, how that relates to marketing. checking in with them is huge, guys. Again, they're the people that are here. They're the people answering the phones. They're the ones dealing with your patients. They're the ones that are taking care of people. It's very important. Even feedback from your clinical team on marketing is really great, because they're going to ask your patient, oh, how did you hear about us? And if it's referral source, from other patients, we want to be thanking those patients, rewarding them, saying, hey, you're amazing, right? And knowing all those things is fantastic. So I really recommend that. I recommend team meetings. Obviously, very important to me. Communication is the biggest piece in a dental practice. I like department meetings, especially in bigger clinics. I feel like department meetings are really great. Admin meetings are going to give you a lot of insight on these connections, but you'll be surprised how many RDHs, RDAs, even associates have information that's going to connect these dots for you guys. So listen to them. Honestly, just like you listen to your patients, listen to your team. They're going to give you that information to connect it with your marketing team to make this really work for everybody. Sharing goals. And I'm not talking about financials. People always panic about this and they think it's a financial thing. It's not. It's about our goals as a team. What works? What are our marketing goals? How are they going to align with the clinic? How is the team going to support them? So, and are they realistic? Okay. So if I say to Ben, hey, Ben, you know what? My practice gets 15 new patients a month. In 2 months, I want you to get 100. It's not going to work. Okay, I know this, but going through those incremental increases with them. So saying to them, hey, you know what, we've got Ben's team on board. They're going to be helping with this. This is how it's going to work. This is what you guys need to do to support those efforts. This is how we're going to do it and work together with Ben's team or whoever you guys are working with. Ben's just right in front of me, so he's a really easy example. But whoever you guys are working with marketing wise, it's really great, because if the team understands what they're doing, they're going to be able to do it. If they don't understand, you just tell them something, it's very hard for people to comprehend, right? It's very hard for people to get better at things. So if they're aligned with your goals, they understand that, it just makes it so much easier for them, right? They're going to, it's not buy in, but they're just going to understand it. So they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I know why we're doing this. This is why this is important. I get to keep my hours if we're fully booked. However you want to explain it to your team, it works, right? Because we want to keep that flow. We want people to be happy and reward them. When things are going good, let's say our goal is to get 15 new patients a month and we get 20. Reward them, buy them lunch, do something. It doesn't have to be anything big, but do something for them. I even just put sticky notes around my office and give everybody some positive affirmations. It costs me nothing, but you know what? They love it. It makes people feel good. I see those notes all over the office all the time. It makes them feel good, right? And that's what we want. We want to reward people for their efforts. We want to make sure they're recognized for all their hard work. Thank your marketing team too. They put a lot of hard work in. Listen to them, right? It makes a big difference. And if everybody's on the same page, it really works. I always say uphold standards, make your team accountable, right? It's one thing, I feel like implementation always fails in dental clinics because we set out, we say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And then there's no follow-up, right? So again, however you guys want to track this stuff is great. I have my team do a spreadsheet, which is fantastic. You can do that. You can track it on the new patient forms and fill it out at the end of the month. You can use your PMS, whatever your software is, to track it. So there's many options. Just hold everybody accountable and make sure you guys are upholding those standards that you set out, right? It's one thing to put a process in place, but it's one thing to follow up with the process. Again, this is the same thing. Review your leads, give them that positive affirmation, even small wins. Sometimes it's just the littlest things that keep people motivated, right? Big gestures, I don't find work very well. People like things. I'll give you an example. I need my team to get more Google reviews. They were not doing bad by any stretch, but my team loves tattoos. Okay. They all have tattoos. I look at them. I know this. So I said to them, guys, I'll have a challenge for you. I made a challenge. They had to get 1,000 reviews by the end of the year. They did. And they all got gift cards for tattoos. Worked. It's not that I had to go above and beyond and pay for like a week-long vacation for them. I just had to get them a $500 gift card to get a tattoo, and we hit our goal. And you know what? It made everybody feel good. It brought up the morale in the office. It helped the practice. It helped patients find us. So it was just a win-win-win for everybody. So however you want to reward your team, whether it's, a lunch, it doesn't have to be something major, but you guys have to know what makes them tick, right? And what will motivate them. And I always say to support and encourage ideas, listen to your team, listen to your patients. What would make that new patient experience better? Is it a heated blanket? Is it a free chapstick? Is it a new patient gift? Is it a gift card? Is it whatever those things are? Is it a welcome screen when your patient walks in the op with their name on it? We do that at my practice. The kids love it. They see their name and they're like, whoa, how did you know it was me, right? I was on a plane once flying somewhere and I had that welcome screen and I was like, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So anything like that, sometimes just little things make those experiences better for those new patients. Again, you can pay as much as you want for marketing, but if their first impression of your practice and their experience isn't good, they're a one-time shot, right? And then Ben has to do it all over again. And we don't want that, right? You're paying for it twice. I say always be positive, always be uplifting. It goes a long way. And appreciate your existing patients too, guys. I know we're talking about new patients, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about acquisition, but keep your new patients. It's way cheaper than getting, keep your existing patients. It's way cheaper than getting new ones. So I always say appreciate your existing patients as well. I feel like it's very important to keep everyone happy, right? Okay. We have a question though. So I'm going to read it and then we will answer it. It says, what can I do if I'm a marketing assistant for multiple practices under one corporate umbrella? I don't have ownership in website design. Any thoughts, ideas? I'm asking front staff to make sure that they track referrals because it's so important. Thanks for reminding this. I do not work on site with these clinics, but I do work for one, also a proud, it's one of our remote admins that does some marketing for other companies. So she's asking, when it's under one corporate umbrella and she doesn't have ownership of the website design, what can we do to attract those patients and make it better? It's a Ben question, by the way. So I know what sorry, Ben froze again, guys. I know what we're referring to here. But one of the things that, we can do under those corporate umbrellas is just really create an identity of the different locations. So one of the things that you can do is if you are, for example, like branded under the same brand, you can create different social channels for each location. And it can be under that same platform. It can be under that same umbrella. It can be under that same branding, but you can have each location kind of create their own image and their own personality. And that's really amazing when we can do that. And it really works well for practices. So for example, here in Alberta, one I can give you an example of, if you guys want to look it up, that's awesome, is Dental Choice. They do a really fantastic job of branding under one umbrella. And then what they do is they kind of have a unique personality on their social media platforms of each location. And it gives patients an idea of which location is going to be a fit for them. So that's my, that's kind of my advice. I don't know if Ben has a take on that, but. Okay, we can't hear Ben. I'm so sorry, guys. The technical problems in Winnipeg today are real. So I do apologize. But we are going to wrap it up. Ben will pop up, hopefully, our contact information. But if anybody needs me, you guys, I'm on the website. My email is there. My cell phone number is on every piece of branding that we have. So feel free to contact me anytime. Email is just savannah@mintops.ca. And then, yeah, my cell phone is posted everywhere. My email is everywhere. If anybody wants copies of the slides, anybody has any personal questions you guys don't want to ask out loud, you're welcome to contact me or Ben directly. But I just wanted to say thank you for everybody coming out today. I really appreciate your time and spending some time with us. And like I said,
I just wanted to mention that something really appreciate. Yeah, sorry about that. So today we have a very just technical issue in Winnipeg for the internet. So I'm really sorry about that one. But yeah, so thank you so much everyone for joining us. And I hope that this webinar gonna helping you a lot. And as exactly Savannah mentioned, that you can just contact us, either that's savannah@mintops.ca or ben@mintops.ca. And yeah, we are always happy to give you this sort of consultation or this sort of webinar. And I'm really appreciate if you just letting us know the next webinar what you wanted to know more about. So you wanted to just again talk more about the operation, more marketing, or the gap between the collaboration between marketing and operational things. So thank you so much everyone for joining. I hope that everything going well for all of you.
Hey guys, thanks again. Have a fantastic evening, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Have a amazing evening. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.